What up? What up, y'all? Welcome in. Welcome back. Post-game show, Nebraska, Northern Illinois. We did it. We won a game. Oh, my gosh. Welcome to Red Sea Radio. Hit the thumbs up. Subscribe. Especially if you're a Husker fan, man. We are the voice of the Red Sea. Here we are. We get it done tonight. I don't even know how to really feel after a win. Honestly, I'm kind of like, did that really happen? Did we not? There's nothing. What? Like, it's just went, kind of status quo of how it should have went, know?
Yeah, I think,
Right?
the thing about this whole, I don't know, like, too bad this wasn't game one. It just feels like it's the perfect team to play against that you can kind of get yourself right. But it is what it is. But, man.
It is what it is.
There's a lot of good things I think you can take from this game. A lot of people, talk about these games as being, like, oh, they're not really important. I think they're vital.
Yes.
And performing tonight, is ugly in some areas, but really, really good in others too. So,
yep. It is a good win. And then Huskers get it done again, 35-11. We get a win on the board. It was huge. You know what? This is a game where I guess the first two games, and again, if you come in, make sure you say hello in the chat and drop a line over there, man. We'd love to hear your thoughts on how the game went. Lucas O says, I almost got that correct score. He did put a score down there. Congrats on the dub, fellas, says Maxwell. Thad says, yo. As we break down Nebraska, Northern Illinois, we are also watching the Colorado State game, which is just pandemonium. Pandemonium.
It's off the rails already.
I don't even know what's going on in this game. It is just pure pandemonium. Lucas did have 38-10. Nice work. Yeah, and here's the thing. I guess we'll touch on a couple players. I'm going to run down some quick stats. Nothing crazy. My overall picture of the game, I guess, was it's kind of time to give the Nebraska defense and defensive coordinator Tony White some respect on his name, I feel like. Not an offensive juggernaut, but I think, 3 games starts to be a trend, and it's this defense. Right. This defense is for real. I mean, they are for real. He has got these guys flying. The adjustments that he's making, every play and play calls. These guys are ready to rock, and you can see they are like fully prepared to encounter whatever they need to. Like, it is impressive as hell.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, you can be there'd be times where it'd be bust on other defensive coordinator staffs, and all of a sudden there's a dude running wide open. And you really haven't seen that. We saw it once against Colorado last week on the cross country route. But I mean, the thing that I kind of picked up on in the preseason, him talking, was he said we're gonna play with Husker speed. And you never really like Nebraska teams. You never really like associated speed with our defense, but every time there's the balls in the area, there seems to be 3 or 4 white hats there, and the thing
flying,
that really is surprising me is not only the speed but the way they tackle.
Yes.
If they get their hands on the guy, they're
down.
It's
kind of shocking. Like, it really is.
You're not lying. Like,
I can't believe
it. It's quite interesting to see. Like, not a lot of yards after contact. Like, our guys, we get them and they get to the ground.
Yeah.
So, hey, I'm not going to complain, man. That was a good. I mean, the backups gave up a drive at the end of the game, but you know what? Like, I listened to a little bit of Rule after the game, and he said, that's what we did last week at Colorado. We're coaching for further on down the road. So if we give up a touchdown late, you know what? Hats off to them, because their coaches are trying to get them ready for playing in the MAC. So he wasn't mad about it. I mean, he understood it. Then taking the timeouts and things like that. But I don't know how many guys we played on defense, but I was seeing dudes that I was like, he's still on the team.
I know.
Like, Snodgrass gets in, he gets a penalty. But like some of the defensive backs, like I forgot about the Brett's kid from West Side, who like is a freak. Like, he's a freak athlete. and then I looked at the depth chart, and he's like second string. I'm like, oh my gosh, like, and they're so that this team. I mean, Tony White's off to a good start. Like you said, they're trending 3 games now, and next week it's going to be a little bit different offense, more spread oriented with Louisiana Tech coming in. So it'll test our ability to get home. But they're going to give us a shot to win games in the Big Ten West, and that's what you want to see.
They will.
I don't know if the offense is going to be productive enough, but right now we'll take every little win that we can.
Yep. And just running down the stats, fellas. Shout out to Sean O. He says the offense woke up. I see a little bit.
Sort of.
I still 35. Welcome to Husker Nation. I still don't feel real satisfied with the offense, but we'll get there. Heinrich Harburg filled in for Mr. Sims. Sims was out with an injury. Harburg finishes 14 of 24, buck 58, 2 touchdowns, no picks, 58% completion percentage with a rating of 141.1. Summit, how do you feel Harburg did tonight?
In the passing game or
just overall? Starting his first game, really? Right?
Yeah, there's a couple things that I noticed about Harburg and the way that they called plays. You could tell there was a concerted effort to try to take some shot plays.
Yeah.
He's not really accurate down the field. Thought he was going to get that one to Tommy Hill, but he probably threw it too late. And that's the biggest complaint I might have about him so far. It is his first game, so, I mean, yeah, you're nitpicking here, but I think he's late on a couple reads.
Yeah.
It takes a little while for the ball to get out as well. This is a long motion, but he's got the arm angles. Like, he'll throw it up here, he'll throw it sidearm. I think the biggest thing that I took away from the game is that his physicality.
Yes.
He's just a big kid.
Tough.
And, poor number 7.
Oh, God.
I mean, those safeties had a rough night for Northern Illinois. Harburg took a couple of guys head on, and old Anthony Grant,
just
what'd you
decap
say?
him.
Took a soul.
Took a soul. I mean, seriously, when he lowered his head on, I saw it coming too. I'm like, dude, do you not know Anthony Grant's hit against Rutgers where he took that kid's life? And I saw him. He was getting ready to lean into it. I'm like, oh dear gosh, rest in peace to this bro.
I mean, I'm saying he's probably 6'3", 6'2", 225, 230. I mean, I don't know. Like, he's a big kid.
Son of a gun.
That opening drive could not, what did I talk about coming in this game? Like, what was I looking to see? I was looking to see, can Nebraska play offense in a consistent manner where they're basically, they can put a drive together that results in a touchdown. And this was the first time, all season where they did that multiple times. So I liked seeing Fedoni get open in the passing game. He's kind of coming alive now.
Yes.
The pop pass was nice. The long third down conversion, but he's slowly gaining traction. But there's some things about this game that you can really take and build off of and move into another group of 5 opponent and hopefully get the record back to 500.
Yep. There's another flag in the Colorado State game. I'm trying to find a.
Can I get some action on the over/under on the number of penalties tonight?
Oh, I was gonna play a sound. I need to get a sound bite that's flag on the play. Yeah, something where it'd be.
I think this every time there's
Seriously. Yeah, every time.
Flag.
Another flag on Colorado State. It's just second quarter. I wonder how many flags there are right now. And
it just came across my screen. There's been 12 penalties already.
Oh my gosh.
14-40
in the second
quarter.
Jeepers. Lucas just said 12 flags. He says, I don't think Colorado covers but wins by 17. He says the Rocks at the football game. Oh, it's Celebrity City down there. And Maxwell says this may be a question for later in the show. But do you think Sims has officially lost his job as the starter? I know he's hurt, but it looked better, I suppose. I didn't get to watch live due to Tennessee, Florida. What are your thoughts on it?
It was delicate.
It is very delicate.
If there was a perceived gap between first and second place or, first and second string, It had to have narrowed quite a bit. So what does that mean? I think if you're using the philosophy that if he's hurt and he's truly hurt, you're going to give him a shot to come back and take his job and continue his job. But I think the margin of error has probably been cut way, way, way down.
Yeah, I agree.
You know, it's like, uh, yeah, you just think like, yeah, if he's going to continue to make some of these mistakes, bad throws, um, uh, not handling snaps, I mean,
Oh, just yeah, can't have it.
that those things, I mean, you can't have those anymore. And I thought Nebraska tonight went under center quite a bit more, um, which I think is nice. I mean, we'd line up and really just try to move the ball. And we got a good push. There was a couple times where the guys were blocking downfield. One guy got a penalty, but Piper put a guy down pretty good. Ben Hart, I mean, quietly, Ben Hart is not. I mean, he had a bad block on that counter play action that resulted in a fumble.
It was terrible.
That was not good. That wasn't good. But other than like his run blocking, his biggest thing's his feet. Like he's powerful, but he just does not move his feet.
He don't move
if
his feet.
If he'd ever bring him with him, if he'd bring him with him, he'd be a monster. But you know, I don't know if you can take the starting job from him yet. I just think that, I mean, my opinion is you probably start him next week.
I agree.
And then you tell Harburg, hey, you're going to get a series in the second quarter. You're going to get the third series of the game, and we'll see what happens.
I think, yeah, and I know I texted you about this and kind of brought it up too. Maxwell, that was my first thought as I watched his physicality. He brought back some weird vibes for me, and I know this is a touchy subject out there in Nebraska land. I'm just saying it brought back a little Brooke Beringer vibe to me. And you just said got the black hair. I don't know. It just got that goofy look. I don't know, that lanky body, and I don't know the way he runs. And I'm like, gosh, this brings back. It's
it's like a colt that gets let out in the field for the first time, and just can like go free. He's like, what am I doing?
I'm gonna run. Yeah, it is. But he brought back. I don't know. Like I brought it up, and I think what he'll do is I think he'll trot out Sims. He'll go out there, and I think if you see one goofy mistake, we'll be okay. I think another one. I think it will take two more for him. Like if it's just something, and as a Husker fan, I couldn't tell you. It's new every week, so it could be something something will happen. We don't know. Like he'll throw the ball, it'll hit a bald eagle, and it'll fall into the defender's hands. Like I'm at that point. I couldn't tell you what's happening, but I think it'll take a couple more big time, like what are you doing type mistakes. And then I think he would lose his job at that point. I still think it's too early. I still think he'll give him a shot. I don't know if you could do it 2 games in. It's just, it's a very touchy subject, I think, yet. But like you said, Summit, I think the gap has been considerably closed down on that stranglehold that, if there was any, that Sims had on the starting job as a Nebraska quarterback. It'll be interesting to follow that, honestly, especially if you're an outsider. I mean, you guys, to us, it's a big deal, but for you guys to kind of, and it's good too. I got to mention this too before I move on to couple more of these stats. It's great hearing people from other fan bases talk about Husker football. You know what I mean? Like, I think sometimes I don't know, and you as well, like we just see it from a different viewpoint than maybe somebody that doesn't swear by Nebraska football. So it's kind of, I think it's great for your guys' comments and score predictions and everything you do out there. So thank you, I appreciate that. Let's move on here in the stats. We got rushing. Harburg strong again, 21 attempts, 98 yards, average 4.7 yards a carry. Gabe Irvin had 14 for 67. Anthony Grant 7 attempts for 46. All 3 of those dudes I just mentioned all had a score. Grant averaged 6.6. Those are the big ones there. Receiving, Thomas Fedoni had 4 for 42 and a score. Billy Kemp had 3 for 13, 4.3 yards per reception. Had 7 targets. Marcus Washington 2 for 37. Gabe had 2 for 20. Bullock, Grant, and Fleeks all had 1 reception. Bullock had a 33-yarder. So overall, offensively, 382 yards. Total offense, Northern Illinois had 149. Passing, we had 158. They had 123. Rushing yards, this is unbelievable. 224 for Nebraska, 26 for the Huskies. 26 yards for the Huskies, man, on the ground. Gosh.
You know, it was great going into that last drive that Northern Illinois had. They had 80. Hold on, 'cause I screenshotted it before that last drive where they scored. They had 89 yards of offense.
Jeez.
And they finished with what? 140.
149.
149. So
Defense
they put
is
a drive
just-
together at the end.
It's balling,
Yeah,
man.
it's
Defense is
it's
balling.
impressive.
It is.
And
so,
the thing that you watch them that we've never really seen in probably 10 years is the amount of pressure they can generate with just 3.
amen.
The Nash Hutmacher, whatever, how you say his
Yep.
last name, Nash
Yep.
0. He's kind of a dude. Last year he was too heavy. He wasn't real. Had a lot of agility, and he hurt in the off season. They talked about like, hey, how do we get him better? And he said, well, I'm doing yoga, I'm stretching a ton, and he has become kind of a problem.
Yeah.
I mean, he's
6
kind of
tackles,
a problem.
half a sack,
Yeah.
2.5 tackles for loss. Led the team in tackles today.
A nose guard, a 0 technique.
I mean, he looks
That's crazy.
He looks. I have a quick story about him. My nephew played him in high school. My nephew was a running back D, and he said he is the strongest. He's like and he played 4 years, like in a South Dakota ball. But he said that dude is so strong. Nash actually scored, I think, like on a play action pass out of the backfield or something for his high school team. And he did what do you call it? Like a cartwheel or whatever. Like, what do you call those flips? Like, he was able to.
Handspring?
Yeah. He said he flipped in the end zone. He's just like, what? And he's like, that dude is insanely athletic. He's coming along, man. I mean, he led the team in tackles tonight, half a sack, 2.5 for loss. So, I mean, he looks like the real deal. But overall, I just, like you said, the defensive line, I watch it, and I mean, it's been so long. Like, I hate saying this, but I'm just like, wow, we're getting to the quarterback without sending everyone under the sun out there to try to get some pressure. So it's impressive.
And the thing, I would like to see the snap counts because they were playing Gunnarsson a little bit. I think he got in a little bit. I know they were playing Cam Lenhart. They were playing Princewell. They were rotating so many guys. It's just, when you the complaint I had against the last staff, it seemed like they just never could develop because they were always coaching for their jobs.
Yeah.
They were always behind. They were always behind the 8 ball.
Yeah.
Always had to, hey, we got to win. So there was never really any development of depth. And you watched this team, and it's just like everyone had a clean slate. Like Buda Wright, number 33, he has gone through a position change. He's gone through blood clots, where in his lungs, where they thought he might be done playing, and he's out there playing now linebacker. Got a pick tonight, drop it into coverage. I mean, these type of coaching decisions free you up. Like, what's the saying I always hear people talk about? You want to coach yourself into options.
Mm-hmm.
And what that means is make so many guys available that when a guy messes up, hey, you know what, buddy, it ain't your day today. Come on. And we'll go find someone else.
Right.
And that is so beneficial to a coaching staff that, hey, you know what, we can go and count on another guy because this other guy might be able to, he can do just as well because he's trained the same way. And being able to have options really frees you up to just coach.
It looks good. One guy I was kind of surprised with tonight was A.J. Rollins on the D-line.
He played.
He looked good. Dude, he was
another guy.
second on the team in tackles tonight.
Shut your mouth. No
he had
way.
4. I think he got in late, but he just was making every play.
That's what I want to see, a snap count. I want to see how many guys, because I think only had to defend like 50, plays or so.
Yeah.
I don't know how many plays Northern Illinois had, but they had, I think, 10 punts. So it was just domination.
It was.
I texted my buddies today, my college buddies, and I said, I just had this epiphany. I was like, you know what? Screw it. I'm overthinking things. And I texted them at 12:57. I said, they asked, does Nebraska win tonight? I said, yes, and we may shut them out. I said it. And then that's other guy laughed at me and goes, nope, we lose, but we keep it close. I'm like, you're Judas. Get out of here.
I know. I went.
I can't remember our predictions. I think I said 31-13.
I was 27-20.
Yeah, so I just,
You're a
they
lot
get
closer
the
than me.
late score. It makes it 24-point win. I mean, we were favored by what?
10, 11, 12-ish, around there, yeah.
Okay, so we covered that. What was the over-under?
Oh, what was it? Wasn't it in the 40s?
Was it 45?
40-something, yep.
Vegas knows.
Yep.
Vegas knows.
Oh, yeah, they know.
35-11, of course.
Yep.
Did they go for 2 to cover it? I wonder if they went for 2. Come on, please tell me they went for 2 to cover it.
That's nasty. They might have.
So
they might have. They might have.
All right, I'm looking up right now. Oh, over under was 42.5.
42.
So it was
okay, didn't matter.
Covered. Yeah. So, yeah. I mean, you feel good. I thought it was nice to see Anthony Grant off the milk carton. He had a couple nice runs. Had that nice little touchdown run. It was,
they gave him they got a shot. He got a shot to play.
Yeah.
He didn't fumble.
He had a nice his touchdown run was nasty.
It was.
He
I
got
like
a great
him,
block,
man.
And he's shifty, man.
You know what he looked like tonight? He looked like a dude that was running with a purpose. Like he was ticked off. You could see it in the way he was running the ball. He was angry. And when he runs angry, I mean, he's taken a lot of people up to the gates of heaven. I'll tell you that much. Dude, I'm telling you. If I'm hitting him, I am diving for the legs, no doubt. I'm not taking him head on.
Make a business decision. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Grant.
That's what you got to do.
Oh man, what about Irvin? How do you feel about Irvin? I guess I am kind of on the fence about him right now. I ain't gonna lie. I guess I'm just not quite seeing what they're seeing. Is it just
there's no explosion? Like
there's no explosion.
I think this is gonna sound a little technical for what we're doing here, but I think they leave a lot of yards on the field still. I don't think they hit holes right. I think they run into their blockers. They don't set up blocks well. I was while you were talking about not Irvin, but Grant, I was thinking we need to find a guy that when the ball's in his hand, like the last guy we had, when the ball was in their hands, you're like, oh, this could be a house call.
Mm-hmm.
And the last guy that we've had that was Maurice Washington.
Yeah.
When he touched it was
good.
Oh, look out. So
we don't have that house call guy. You're right.
No, we don't. And,
even Wandale Robinson, I felt that way.
Yeah, when he touched it.
It's like, ooh, here we go.
So you look at the longest run tonight, might have been 20 yards, maybe. So, I mean, that's just how we're going to have to play. I really think so until they find some guy in the portal or they find some guy that's going to be able to just to tear one loose. I don't know when it's going to happen, but it's just not there right now.
It's not. I don't know. I'm not sure how that'll settle up either. I still think we're going to see quite a few. Maybe I think there's some battles going on.
Did Ramir get hurt tonight? Because I don't think, got a carry.
He did not get a carry. I was looking at it right now. Tommy Hill, Lubin, Grant, Irvin, Harburg. Huh.
I mean, Lubin had the run at the very end. What he run for 13 yards?
18.
18.
1 for 18. Yep. Defensively, man, I'm just so impressed with this team. How about penalties? Where were we at? I felt like we were good with penalties. 3 accepted for 45 yards.
We had a bad PI.
Yep.
I thought that was a bad PI. We had a late hit. I think Snodgrass had a late hit. And so there's probably, and then Ben Scott had one on the long
You
run
got it.
to the long run. Yeah, so 3 15 yarders. No motions. No, we didn't we didn't snap the ball off any gun in motion. No procedural like
No,
false
it
starts. I
was
mean,
a
that's pretty
clean
clean.
game. And what did we
You
say
know
though? What did
the
we say? Like I remember when we
wait, there was
talked.
another penalty. Hold on. How many say three
It
or
said
four?
3. It says there was a pass interference, a holding on an interception by Wright, and it says
Well,
roughing the passer.
we got one. We got another one on the interception when Princewell laid out Rocky. Um,
And that one
I
was
don't
said
know if
it
that.
was
Yeah.
declined.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
That was, but you know what? We said we wanted a clean game. I felt
Yeah.
like from what we've seen the first 2 weeks, I felt like they took a step in the right direction. I think that's probably the main thing we were looking for tonight. Harburg was clean. Turnovers weren't a big, massive issue. There was nothing crazy that went on. And for me, that, it's nice when you can be like, oh, let's talk about this player and what's he doing? And instead of just coming on here and hiding our face for silly stuff. You know what I mean? It's like, gosh, we can actually get in and talk about some of these dudes that are balling and showing out.
No. Like we talked about the offense for Northern Illinois. It wasn't dynamic. It wasn't gonna light you up. I mean, Rocky's been. He missed a guy on a third down where
He
the
was
guy was
bad.
open, just couldn't hit him. He's not very good.
11 of 28.
Yeah, and Nebraska's defense, they it's hard. I was watching a thing with Urban Meyer talking to Coach Gennardo on Big Ten Network, and he was talking about how, like, Urban Meyer was talking about Nebraska's defense and how impressed he was with us. Anytime you get the blessing of Urban, I know Grant
It's big. It's a big thing.
lose his mind, but he said most quarterbacks are taught when they first start playing high school ball that you're seeing 7 guys drop into coverage. And now Nebraska, when we rush 3, we drop 8. And it doesn't seem like it's a big deal, but man, when you have another guy that can play whatever, if he's playing flats, if he's playing hook to curl, if he's playing deep third, deep half, whatever the case is, you add that next layer of defense or another player in there to create another gap to plug up the zone. I don't know how effective you're going to be. I mean, you look at the teams we played. Shadur had a ton of yards, but how many attempts did he take? Minnesota, 44 attempts. Tonight, 28, and he was 11 of 28. So I don't know how efficient teams are against us. Haven't given up any big plays. A couple busters, Colorado, but tonight, nothing.
Been rock solid.
So it's just an impressive group so far. Now we're 3 games in, like you said, trending.
Yep.
Another week to keep improving, developing more guys, and then Michigan comes to town.
Yep.
And
oh gosh,
that's going to be a whole other animal.
Oh boy, let's talk about this. I know you got to go here in a little bit, but let's touch on this topic. We talked a little bit about Satterfield, just a tad bit, and. But I was looking at some stats here, and I just want to throw this at you. First quarter, just stats, rushing the ball. This is interesting, and I kind of like it. I'm not gonna lie. As the game went on, I felt like, and again, that you got to remember the score too. Score of the game, definitely.
I know what they rushed for in the fourth quarter.
Yes, so
but I know
9 carries for 15 in the first. So 9 for 15. Okay. 9 for 48 in the second. 14 for 65 in the third. 12 for 96 in the fourth.
I knew they had 95 in the fourth.
So
or
look
96.
At that.
So, yeah, that's imposing your will. That's the way Rule wants to play. Yeah. I guess an inferior opponent, you hope that's what happens. We did enough in the passing game to loosen them up. I thought that early completion to Washington really sparked that drive.
I feel like he's a spark plug for this offense, man. I do.
I think, I texted you. I don't know if I'm 100% a believer in Billy Kemp, But
Yeah, that's tough.
I just don't know if we. I think the way our offense is structured, like he came from Virginia, which was a very wide open offense. We're not that way, so he has a hard time getting open, man. Because it's you can't run, you can't run like a route combination with we don't go five wide too often, and if you run a route combination to get him in a clearing to do whatever he does underneath the defense to get 5, 6, 7 yards. He just hasn't been able to do that so far. And I don't know if we have the quarterbacks to do it, but Washington's played well. I think Fedoni's really going to start just getting better and better each week.
I hope so.
I think, someone said they clocked him at 20 miles an hour in one of the routes.
See, I feel like when I watch him, he seems super stiff still.
Yes. Like coming in, like when he catches the ball, his first step seems like it is like
his hips are so tight. I feel like it's just I don't know, and I think probably some of that is returning from injury, and you are just being cautious. You know what I mean? I don't know if your body is quite back in that group. But did you know Billy Kemp? He declared for the draft last year.
Oh, he did.
He had put his name into the draft. It was on the Virginia website here. I just finishes 4th on Virginia's all-time receptions list. That is crazy.
It was a wide open offense. They weren't good, but man, they threw the ball a ton.
Gosh, that's crazy. So hey, going back to the play calling here, imposing their will. That's what I looked at too when I saw the stats by quarter, and I'm thinking, gosh, maybe something started to click with him too, with Satterfield. Maybe something started. There goes 14 again for Colorado State. Gosh, he's a beast. But I was like, hey, you know what? Like maybe something started to click for him too, because I have not been super overly impressed. I feel like he's trying to find his footing too. That's probably a lot of it. Again, it's early. I mean, it's learning on the job, and with this roster, and I get it. The personnel is, but maybe. I mean, what are your thoughts on Sat?
There was
the
one I was not happy with. It was 3rd and 3.
Yes,
we just ran the ball a few times. We moved it out to about midfield or so. 3rd and 3. Just run it again. Run the ball again.
Run it, please.
And then if you don't get the first down, it's gonna be 4th and inches, and you've done QB sneaks. Like they look like the Eagles doing it.
It kind of looks like Tom Brady. I'm telling you, looks good. It does.
Or Jalen Hurts.
Hurts is great at it too.
So do that. Instead, they call a little pass play, and again, defended well, and it was stopped, and they had to punt. I was like, why? Why are we doing this? It's not that hard to figure out. But as the game wore on, he relied on his bell cows and really ran them well. And he's next game. Next man up.
Davis Reed stops in. Max Summit, what up? Congrats on the dub. Appreciate that, dude.
Thanks. Hey. Congrats to the Georgia Bulldogs for showing up in the second half.
They did, yeah. They just showed up.
They said, all right, enough of this.
Same with Texas.
Enough of this. Did Texas finally pull away?
Texas was sleeping. I just saw they were up a couple scores finally.
Oh, it was 10-10.
Jeez, what? And they got the old Urban kiss of death, I guess. Best team in the AA.
Hey, I'm probably gonna get roasted for this. I'm gonna go on a limb right now. They talked about this today on Game Day on one of the shows. By the way, how hyped is Colorado right now?
It's insane.
You had college.
I want to drive out there again.
Big noon.
Yeah, seriously.
Big noon.
Send me out there again.
Reese Davis said this morning the last time Colorado was favored by this many points.
What was it?
Lost.
Well,
they were at 23.5. And I'm just saying right now.
Better watch out. I know.
It's first and goal. The Rams are playing pretty feisty.
Uh-oh. Yikes. Let's talk a little other college football. But last final thoughts, Nebraska, NIU. I don't have much else to say. It was a clean game. I'm happy they won. I just want to it's something to build off of. And I saw, Hutmacher came out. He looked strong. Harburg filled in well. I'm excited. We got the dub. That's all there is to it, man. It was a clean game. and we weren't the laughing stock of college football tonight. That's all I
Yeah.
got for you.
Yeah.
What do you
Well,
got?
that's great. Hey, that's it, man. I
Yep.
mean, we talked about getting a dash on the left-hand side of the column. We finally did.
Got it.
1 and 2. Get another one. Get 2 and 2, and then start Big Ten play, like the rest of Big Ten play, and see how it goes. I mean,
Yep.
watching the other teams in the Big Ten West, man.
It's there.
They're gonna be dogfights. Our defense will keep them close, but I don't know if we're gonna score enough. But hey, that'll be the story all year. We'll see
Yep.
how it goes.
It will. It'll be really interesting. Let's talk about the Rams just put another score in. Let's talk about this. Colorado.
Flag.
Oh my gosh. Yep. Clipping. Send them back. What would? Can you imagine if the Buffs go down tonight?
Yeah.
Oh my
No.
goodness.
It's like humble pie.
To the Rams of Colorado State. Like, the Rams are giving it to them too. Like, it's kind of impressive. I mean, it's a rivalry. Anything can happen in a rivalry game. But I'll tell you what, Colorado.
They have a competent offense. That's
They do.
Like you watched last week, and it's just they have an offense that can move the ball.
They're killing him on crossing routes too. Just drags. They're just dragging him to death right now. That's hilarious. Just manning up.
You look at the last 2 weeks, Colorado. I mean, they have a pick 6 in this game.
Oh my god.
That's one of Colorado's scores. So the last 2 weeks they've scored. They've struggled in the first half. So
are you saying
we're going to see how the second half?
You're saying that coaching is catching up a little, maybe?
I think there's going to be a team next week that's going to maybe put them to sleep.
Okay, let's there's the Ducks. If you had to guess, Davis Reed says tickets to get in the door for this evening's game started at $189. Insane. What was the cheapest Husker ticket? Like $250, $300? Well, the stadium was 80%.
Tutty Rams.
There it is. I got to ask you though. Let's talk about it next week because this Colorado thing is taking it its own. It's taking its own. Like it's insane. Give me a score right now. Oregon, Colorado.
What time is the game?
Ooh,
I think the game's. I think it's like a noon kick. So, Autzon's gonna be crazy regardless. But I think they moved it to a noon kick. Like
2:30 Central. So yeah.
They don't want to go up against the behemoth game with Ohio State and Notre Dame next week. So they moved it to a 2:30 kick. So that's Central. So 12:30 Oregon time. It's going to be crazy. Prediction-wise, I don't know.
Ooh.
Going to be, I don't know. 45, 20.
Okay.
Ducks.
What would you guess the current spread is on the game? You're on the money with your prediction.
17, 18.
19 and a half.
Yeah. Let's go to Vegas right now.
Right on the money. Davis Reed says Oregon 31-20 would be his guess. Next week's a big week.
It's a huge week in college football. Today, Kansas State lost
61 yards
to Mizzou.
Woo!
Thicker the kicker.
When's the last time they played? When's the last time they played?
They played last year.
Did they?
Kansas State smoked them. Yeah. They
Does it warm your heart a little bit? It does me to see those old Big 12 teams battle it out. Big 12 North especially. I love it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Wish we were still there. But anyway.
Hey, look at my shirt, dog.
That's what I'm saying.
I hate the Big Ten, dog. I don't like this conference. No. I'd rather go back home too, man.
I would too. Send us home. Take us home.
Like today, you see some of the games today, and you saw, like Georgia. They had their first game against a competent opponent, and the thing that I noticed about college football is if your quarterback isn't just unreal, you're kind of like look what's going on at Alabama.
Oh
Georgia
my gosh!
Beck is not Stetson Bennett. He's grown into the role. He's true. Was he redshirt freshman, whatever he is? But like Bama's struggling right now, which is wild to think about. Ohio State finally found their footing today against Western Kentucky, but like these young quarterbacks, the league that has the best quarterbacks is out west. You look at
Yeah.
Michael Penix put on a freaking
He's
show
so
in
good,
East
man.
Lansing today. Caleb Williams is highlight after highlight. Shador against bad teams is pretty good. Don't know how he is against good teams yet. You look at who else is in the Pac-10? Bo Nix.
Yeah, the Bo Nix, the UCLA QB too. They're throwing it. Washington State.
Yeah, that dude, the guy from Incarnate Word, the transfer, he's a freak show. Then UCLA, who's got the Dante Moore kid, who's I've been talking about him for like 3 weeks. That guy is a freak. So that conference, which is going to disband this year, has the best
Isn't that
quarterbacks
something?
in the country. Like it's wild to see. And I think these teams, next week, Notre Dame welcomes Ohio State, and Sam Hartman has given Notre Dame kind of a shot in the arm. And it's quite interesting to see how that's going to shape up. That game's going to be big. Most of the teams took care of business today, so it's kind of people thought was going to be a down week as far as that, and it kind of lived up to it. I think they only had one upset, and that was the K-State loss. But
in Tennessee,
that game. All right, we got Tennessee fans in here, so
I know.
They haven't beat the Gators in like 20 years in the Swamp, and you watched them last week, and whoever the hell they played, they screwed around.
Yep.
Way too much against their opponent. They just didn't look good last week, and then they went down the Swamp today, and it looked that didn't look good. Tennessee has too much talent to be
so much talent.
And I think it comes. I mean, I'm going to say it. It's going to come back to the quarterback. You can throw it 100 yards, cool, but man, sometimes playing catch is difficult, and he struggles doing that. So, it's interesting to see. I mean, the Gators were ready. Billy may have saved his job today. And
Yep.
I mean, people down here are like they're thinking that.
Yeah, what are they saying about him down there? Get him out.
Hot seat,
Yeah.
like already, and people like the sane fan. It's kind of like some of the insane fans wanted to get rid of rule after 2 games, but like you look at these people down here, man. They're like they want Dion. Like they.
I think so too,
like
man.
Dion's coming, and I'm like, come on, man. Like Billy Napier is. Give him some time, man. He's building it the right way. I'll say this. Like, he's a young coach. He's got a young staff. They're killing it in recruiting right now. And it's just interesting to see kind of, how can I say this? The fans of the SEC, the people that live down here, if you're not a Southerner, as far as, like, if you've never been in the SEC, you have no shot in their mind. Like – Brian Kelly, nope, ain't gonna make it. But Billy worked with Bama, and he has the blessing of saving.
Yeah,
so
right. Yep.
He's gonna be okay.
Yep.
It is what it is.
Do you think
the Tennessee game today was? I was texting my buddy who's a huge Florida fan. I said, "You all winning today, double digits, like guaranteed." They're not ready for it. They don't have a quarterback ready for that atmosphere, and I guess I was right.
Hey, uncharted territory, Colorado student. We don't know how to act. This is all new to us. A lot of this is new to me. You have to understand. Like the Colorado students, they have no idea what they're doing. That's hilarious. I'm not hearing the audio, but just seeing the quote makes me laugh.
Could you imagine if this was happening in Nebraska right now? How would we act?
We're
never losing again.
Oh my gosh! It would be like
Nebraska
you think
Twitter would lose its mind.
You think Colorado's entertaining right now? Put Dion in Lincoln, Nebraska. The internet would burn down. It'd be just off the charts. Maxwell says that wasn't an upset. As a Tennessee fan, now we're nowhere close to being ready for the show. And he also said he thinks Oregon wins 42-37. Rally stopped just shy. I think Oregon wins.
I think people I think people are buying the hype of Colorado too much.
I'm going to go with Oregon. 49-10, 49-13. It's not going to be close out of the gate. I'm telling you, it's over in the first quarter. It could be 21-0 at the end of one. It's going to be just a bloodbath. That's how I truly feel that way.
I don't know if you know this or not, but Dan Lanning said something about Colorado this
Oh,
summer.
gosh.
So it's personal.
He's got that receipt. Yep.
It's personal.
I don't hate that about Dion. I don't. I like it. I do the same thing.
I think it is almost contrived.
Yeah.
I really think
he's good at it though.
Norvell money to say what he said this week. They want it for the content.
Oh man.
Norvell's like, sure. Give me an extra $5,000. I'll say that.
I'll say whatever you need me to say. Colorado fans are just stunned right now. They can't believe this is happening. Oh my gosh. The Twitter or X, whatever they call it now, will be gold tonight if Colorado State wins that game. It will be. When's the last time the Rams won? 6 years ago?
I don't know. They used to play this game inside Mile High Stadium,
yes.
or whatever the hell it's called, Nebraska Field. So I'm telling you, Colorado's not that good. They beat a terrible team. We're not very good.
No.
Okay. We weren't ready for that moment. No. I would like to have played them. Let us play them at the end of the year like we used to play, and it might be a different story. I really do think that. I think Colorado is the darlings of the nation. And at the end of the year, they're going to be like, okay, do they get to a bowl game? Are they 6-6? Maybe. If they don't win tonight, if they don't win tonight, they're 2-1 with games. The next two games, I think, are Oregon and USC.
Good luck. Another flag.
Yeah, I mean that's.
Gosh.
What are they doing?
Watching this, and Lucas says there was Colorado State's last win was in 2014 in Denver. Lucas says slants are really eating them up tonight. As I'm watching this game, this is like me playing Madden. I'm not even kidding. Slants and drags, and it's just over and over.
Crossing routes for the win.
Crossing routes for the win, and it keeps working. And I'm like,
I watch these people on TikTok talk about how awesome they are. I read the defense. No, you manipulate the game.
Yeah, that's pretty much true. If they lose tonight, Maxwell says, I do think Oregon runs away next week. It'll be that first loss that derails it. I think it could get really nasty. If they lose this, it could be. You said it though. You said. I remember you said this. You said, I don't remember the exact words, but you said it's either going to be a miracle or an absolute disaster. And you might get both of them within the first 3 weeks of the season. Like you might see Oregon, or Colorado start 2-0, top 25, look unbelievable, and then comes off the rails.
Yeah, I mean, you don't know. It's a long season, a lot of football to go.
There's
a lot of tape is going to be. There's a lot of people going to get tape, and then how the depth of Colorado will be an issue. Like tonight, they don't have their starting center. I mean, that's a big deal, especially on a team that they're starting a true freshman at center. So that's hard. That's tough. But next week's shaping up to be crazy. Oklahoma, Cincinnati, I think, is next week. You got Notre Dame and Ohio State, Colorado, Oregon.
Good games,
yeah. Who else we got next week? Week 4 here. I'm pulling them up. Top 25 matchups. Florida State goes to Clemson at 11. That's a kind of an interesting game. Ole Miss plays Alabama. UCLA, Utah. These are all ranked matchups next week, by the way. Based on this week's rankings. I'm sure Clemson will probably jump back in there. Michigan plays Rutgers. Rutgers beat the crap out of Virginia Tech today, I think.
Undefeated, yeah.
Tennessee has UTSA. They should win. LSU, Arkansas, Oregon State, Washington State. I mean, Iowa goes to Penn State.
Oh, gosh, that could be.
Washington, California. USC goes to Arizona State. I mean, that's Pac-12 after dark. Let's go. Cal Washington. Washington's going to throw for 400 yards.
You know, one team I watched today, I watched a little bit this morning before I had to leave, was Boise State in North Dakota.
They've fallen. They've fallen
Wow.
off, man.
Isn't that something? Honestly. Boise State,
It's
not the Boise
just,
State of old. Kind of
it just
sad.
shows you how important. It just shows you how important the hires are.
Yep. And my
You
son
know?
was the first time he had seen a Boise State game, and he's like, Dad, what? The blue field? Like, that's insane. I'm like, oh, dude, they used to be that was the underdog story everybody loved to follow. And I mean, how many dynasties are probably on YouTube right now, Boise State, that are
Right.
5 years old?
So Washington beat Boise week 1, 56-19.
Jeepers.
UCF beat them 18-16. And then today, Boise got their first win against North Dakota, 42-18. They play San Diego State next week. They could be looking at a 1-4 start because they got San Diego State next week, who's a good team, and then they play at Memphis.
Gosh.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Now I feel like I need to start a Boise dynasty. I do. Coach Peterson, man, wild times, says Maxwell. BYU, Kansas after BYU's big one at Arky. Fire schedule next week, says Lucas. Oregon State, Washington State. That'll be a heck of a game. Lucas says, watching this game tonight, I see the final score being Colorado State 31, Colorado 41.
That'd be crazy.
I think seeing the handshake after the game, if Colorado State wins.
Did you see? Oh, God.
Might be.
Did you see, like, on the game day thing? I don't know if it's game day or the other one. They asked Mark Ingram. He's on the Fox one, right?
Yep.
He asked Coach Prime, after you destroy Colorado State tonight, what's the handshake going to look like? And he had the cowboy hat and the glasses, and he takes them off, and he's like doing this number.
Oh,
and I'm like,
no.
Oh, we have arrived.
Oh, my gosh.
Like, it's going to be crazy.
There might be some fisticuffs ready to be thrown. It'll be absolute must see TV. I'm pumped to watch the second half. I am, just to see how it all plays out.
Nathan, I'm just watching the highlights of the Florida game right now. Who's number 5 in the defensive back for Tennessee? Because I would take his helmet and never let him see the field again. His attempt at a tackle on ETN wasn't laughable.
Oh, he'll transfer to Nebraska next year. It'll be fine. It'll be fine.
And hey dog. Why we gotta talk about old stuff?
I know.
We tackling.
That's true. We've moved on. Yeah, we got tacklers now. It'll be good. A good week next week for sure. Lots of good matchups. I'm actually kind of pumped to see it. TCU got a nice win today too. They've kind of bounced back.
Well, you hope so.
Morris looks all right at QB now. Yeah, Alabama did not look good at all. Is he done?
David?
What do you think? How many years he got left? He looks fed up with coaching to me. He does. He looks like he's just over it.
He's got a stud quarterback coming next year. I think they have. Okay, this is going to sound blasphemous, and my Bama brethren will be upset with me, but I just think that they've had so much turnover in their coaching staffs that they've lost any sort of continuity.
Yeah.
And I tell you what, like it's odd to me. They don't have think about the skill that they've had there, and you just don't see it. Like you had Devontae Smith, Jalen Waddle. They don't have a tight end anymore. They always had someone. That group in 2020 was spectacular. And since LSU came and kind of knocked them down a little, I mean, I don't want to say knocked them down, but they've kind of showed that you can beat them a certain way. Clemson kind of did it too. I mean, what I'm trying to say is I don't think they've recruited the skill positions like wide receiver and running back like they've had. And it's
Gosh, that's insane to say that too, but you're right.
It is.
I mean, it's insane, but I get it.
They've had so many elite dudes.
Yes.
And you're just like, where are they at right now? And to be honest, I think the quarterback they had versus Texas would win them plenty of games. I really do. I think Milroe is good enough to win plenty of games. Is it a national championship team? I don't think so. I don't think that was the expectation ever
Yeah.
coming this year for Bama. But watching the other two guys try to play today with the lack of elite talent around them, it's gonna be an interesting year, to be honest. Like
It will.
I hope they get it right. But as far as him being done,
I know it's silly.
He signed a massive contract, and you just wonder what he how much he's got in the tank, you know?
Yeah, 5 combined unsportsmanlike penalties. Colorado State. 5 unsportsmanlike. That's not bad penalties. Colorado State has 11 for 128. Colorado 5 for 45. 16 penalties, boys. Could be 30 plus by the end of this game. 30 plus.
How many yards in the first half?
Oh, I have no idea.
So what you said, 120 for how much?
Yeah, I just went off the screen.
Colorado State had 120 yards.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Colorado has 55. They're almost to 200 in one half. Someone's going to get thrown out of the game.
They will. It's going to get ugly. But, yeah, I know you got to go. So,
we'll
be back.
Get out of here.
Yeah, we'll be back, boys, with our preview prediction show coming up for Louisiana Tech. They come to Lincoln. We'll get our previews out for that. But as we said, man,
when was the last time they'd been to Lincoln? Was it when Troy Rattay and
Tim Rattay
receiver for Tim Rattay and
Tim Rattay, right?
Who was the receiver? The receiver went for 400. What was his name? Edwards?
Troy Edwards.
Yeah.
Troy Edwards. That's right.
That was my first Nebraska game as a Nebraska student.
Wow.
That was the home opener of Frank Solich, 1998.
Yep.
As a Nebraska student, that was my first game.
You know, my first game ever was Nebraska TCU.
Well, my first game ever was as a student.
No, just ever.
That's the game.
LaDainian Tomlinson.
Wow.
Yeah.
When was that?
Oh gosh, was it 2001? First game ever, right? 2001, 2000, something like that.
Well, it might have been the Crouch year. I know they played them in maybe 99.
Was it 99?
I think it was 99. All I know is my first game ever. My grandpa had season tickets, and I think it was like Utah State. But the first big game he ever took me to was Nebraska, Colorado in 1988.
Ooh.
And we won 7-0. And J.J. Flanagan, I'll never forget this. J.J. Flanagan for the Buffs breaks free. He's running all alone, and he drops the ball. It was insane. And we won the game 7-0. Salinesi was the quarterback. We went on to beat Oklahoma the next week. And then my dad took me in 91 to the Washington game where we were up, I think, 21-6. And they won the national title that year. Washington did. And they came back, and they had Mark Brunell and Billy Joel Hobart and Mario Bailey and Steve Entman. They had all these dudes. And that was a long time ago.
Maybe Thomason. I think it was 2001, but I don't know if Thomason. I think that was a year after he graduated because I was mad, or he went to the NFL because I wanted to see him. But they had a good quarterback. Now that I think, I was looking at it. Yeah, we don't have LT anymore. I just looked it up. I think that's what I was thinking. It was the year after he left. They were number 4, 121-7. Gosh, that's crazy. It said, Maxwell says in the chat, and then we'll let you go. It says, Dion said, forget this defense. We got to move the darn ball. In the halftime interview, he said also a CSU player did Dion's celebration. I love it.
All right. They're melting down.
Yep, melting down. Sanders looks nervous at halftime talk, says Lucas.
Oh boy.
Well, I'm gonna tune in the second half. Boys, make sure you hit the thumbs up on your way out again if you're a Husker fan, man. Or not. Who cares? You like talking college football. We'll break down college football too at times. I like that. That was fun. Hit that subscribe button, man. We are out of here. This is Summit. Any last comments before we get out?
Hey, man, go Big Red. Let's get another one next week, right?
Yeah, say 2's a winning streak, right? Is that?
That's right.
Thumbnail? All right. Winning streak. Let's go. All right. For Summit, this is Mac on Red Sea Radio, man. We'll see you guys next week. Take care, all. Take it easy.
Peace.
Peace.